In a sun-drenched atelier in the French countryside, a young woman named Jeanne wove magic. Her hands danced across the old wooden loom, creating vibrant tapestries, just as her mother Sophie had taught her. In those days, the room was filled with laughter, colour, and the gentle wisdom in Sophie's eyes. But then a shadow fell. It was a slow, creeping thing. Sophie began to forget. First, it was small things, like where she put her scissors. Then, it was the intricate patterns she had known by heart her whole life. Jeanne watched as the vibrant, knowing woman who raised her began to fade, replaced by a quiet, confused stranger. Her world narrowed to the four walls of the atelier. She cleaned, she cooked, she cared for her mother, all while trying to keep their beloved craft alive. And then an offer arrived. A sleek tablet glowed with a promise from a Parisian design firm. Freedom, success, a life of her own. She stood at the window, the modern world in her hand, and her mother's fragile world behind her. Her heart was torn in two. One afternoon, while clearing a forgotten cupboard, Jeanne found it. A half-finished tapestry, rolled up and dusty. It was the last project they had started together. The colours were still bright, but one whole section was starkly, painfully empty. As she ran her fingers over the unfinished threads, a single tear fell. This wasn't just a piece of fabric, it was their story, and her mother was forgetting it. In that moment, her decision was made. She put the tablet away. She sat at the loom, her hands firm on the wood. She would not let their story end this way. Her new ritual began. She would weave, and she would bring her mother to her side. She placed a simple shuttle in Sophie's limp hand, guiding it through the motions. Days turned into weeks, and then a miracle, a fleeting spark. Sophie's hand moved on its own, hesitantly selecting a spool of brilliant blue thread. Her eyes, for just a second, cleared. It was only a moment, but for Jeanne, it was everything. It was a sign that deep within, her mother was still there. Driven by that single moment, Jeanne poured her soul into the loom. She wove not just the old patterns, but their new story. The struggle, the love, the resilience. The tapestry became a map of their shared heart. When it was finished, it was more beautiful than anything she had ever created. It was a masterpiece of memory. She decided to share it with the world. The tapestry found a home in a bright, modern gallery. Critics and buyers admired its beauty, but they loved the story behind it even more. Jeanne did not move to Paris. Instead, she brought the world to her. She revived the atelier, teaching a new generation the old craft, now infused with a powerful, modern meaning. And in the quiet evenings, she would sit with her mother in the garden. Sophie might not have remembered all the details, but she felt the love. Jeanne had learned the most profound truth. Her purpose was not to weave perfect tapestries. It was to weave a life of meaning around the person she loved most. She was not just a weaver of thread. She was a weaver of memories. And that was her greatest masterpiece.